Andrew Snorton with Creative Community Solutions. And as you know, if the work that we do in press and media, every once in a while, we are able to do some great interviews with great people doing work across arts and entertainment, sports, government, and politics, things along those lines. I'm so excited to have, a good friend of mine, but a great guest coming on to share her story, especially with the work that she's doing on a show that you definitely want to catch. Make sure to stay connected with me on the web at asnortonccs.com, Facebook and YouTube at Creative Community Solutions LLC, and A Snorton CCS on Twitter and Instagram. So I'm so excited to have media presence just all around, a little bit of everything. Corvaya, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, Andrew, and you always have a warm welcome for me. So thank you so much in advance for this conversation. And like I said, always having a warm welcome for me and making me feel like we're just now, basically, if we don't talk for 5 months or 6 months or 3 weeks, it always feels like we just spoke yesterday. So thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome and thank you. And I tell you what, just right there, there's a presence and energy and character that you regularly bring. And you've got your share of moving parts, which is why we're so grateful for you to take time out with us. And you've got your media work, business, and entrepreneurship, but there's a great project that you're part of on the Oprah Winfrey Network. So share with us the name of the project that you're working on.
Yes, I took my dating life and my love life as a single woman in my 30s to TV. The Oprah Winfrey Network has a show called Ready to Love. It's the network's #1 TV show. It's been on for 7 seasons, so this is season 7. And they came to Miami. They put a bunch of good-looking, quality, eligible bachelors and single women together to see if we would find love within each other.
Wow. Now that's a lot in and of itself. Love and relationships and dating and all of that. Walk through with us the process. How did you, 2 things, how did you get plugged in and how did you feel like this is a fit for you, not only just through the lens of arts and entertainment, but I'll just say your personal and professional growth?
Right. Yeah. Because, professional growth is always priority for me. So for me to step out on faith and do something like this, which I would say has sort of enhanced my personal life, my social life at least, for the most part, is a little out of my comfort zone. My career and my professional relationships are usually priority for me. But to answer your questions, one, social media is a gift, right? Social media allows us to find opportunities, but also for opportunities to find us. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I thought to myself, is this something I would do? It wasn't a given. I had to put my name in the hat. I had to say, sure, I'll give this a try. And then producers had to cast me. They had to choose me to see if I was a good fit for the singles that either had already been casted or the singles that were going to be casted. I had to be a good fit for their show, for their vision, for their storyline. And so I put my name in the hat. There was a series of casting meetings, calls, auditions, things of that sort. Finally made it to the last round and I got a contract and producers were like, congratulations. And I was like, I can't believe I'm going to do this. And so that's how that came about. And then in terms of just, thinking about my why behind it, a lot of it had to do with stepping into my 30s and trying something new, getting out of my comfort zone, recognizing that I had been dating during my 20s in different ways. I had met people through mutual friends. I had met an ex at a grocery store. I had met an ex online through online dating apps. And so I thought, this is something I've never tried. I'm still single and I'm open to finding love. While it may not be a priority for me, I'm definitely open because I do see love and romance and intimacy in my future. So it just made sense. And then I went all in.
And I love what you said, being willing to do something different, because like all of us to varying degrees are guilty of being creatures of habit. We're used to ordering things a certain way, going certain places.
Right.
What did you discover about yourself in doing something that, quote, is different or a little bit unconventional or kind of outside the grid of what you normally do?
That's a good question. Well, a couple of things. I mean, I'm still in this process, right? We are only on episode 2. We went on dates as early as the summer, but I've noticed that this process and this experience has layers to it, and I'm learning a little about myself more and more as the days go on. The first thing that I recognize is that I remembered being a very nervous a woman in my early 20s in my professional life, thinking that I couldn't mix my personal and my professional life, that the two were very different. And if for whatever reason my professional world got taste of my personal world or vice versa, my worlds would crash and they would collide. I didn't think that I could be a woman, who had all these interests and had this heart and this vulnerability. I didn't think I could be her and be a strong, successful professional woman too. So something that I've learned as I've embarked on this journey is that my coworkers are extremely supportive of me. The company I work for always, celebrates me in the skin that I'm in. And I've been able to share a little bit of this process on social media with my online followers and my audience. This is the same audience that taps into me for mentorship or that follows me because of professional reasons. But it's not necessarily taking away this personal journey that I'm on to find love is not taking away from my professional life. And so I've learned that, wow, I was nervous when I was younger about that for no reason. Those two can live simultaneously. You can pursue your passions and your dreams professionally and elevate and try to grow and evolve personally all in once. You don't have to be 100% in either or.
When you were breaking that down, I'm hearing the old school adage, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. And
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and you so eloquently broke things down, the logic and rationale. And I'm just sitting here, you really can walk and chew gum at the same time. And
No, you can. Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you shared that because there's a lot of us, not just your 30s, it's not just a 30s thing, trust me, but even people older feel like you've got to keep everything compartmentalized. And you're saying that's not necessarily the case. You can do both. Like you said, you can pursue your professional passions, but also your personal passions, and that's okay.
You can. And I credit that sort of like growth and knowledge to just time. In my early 20s, I didn't know that, and it didn't comfort me to think that I would, mix the two worlds. But it's okay because it just took time for me to know that. Had I embarked on this journey as an early 20 something, I probably would have been a disaster. So I think the timing was right. But there is another thing that I'm starting to learn about myself, Andrew, and it's one quality or characteristic or maybe bit of knowledge that I think I had maybe over some of my other cast members was, we've been in this media world. I've worked in media, I've worked behind the scenes, I've worked in entertainment, I've worked in hard news, I've worked in just good old journalism. And so walking into this process, I kept an open heart and an open mind. But that media training never goes away. So I'm looking at the producers and I can relate to them. I know what their days are like because I've been in their shoes, maybe not producing a nationally syndicated TV show, but similar roles. And I'm seeing, everything happening on set. And I do think a part of that, growing up in media and working in media for so long did keep me a little guarded. It did keep me a little guarded versus some other castmates who maybe have not been in media as much, went in completely vulnerable. And so little by little, I'm realizing that, that media training, that media experience and knowledge that we have, it never really goes away. And it did sort of affect, not in a negative way, but it did sort of, I did see it kind of scattered throughout my experience.
Mm-hmm. And I think you made a good point. Like we view things through our respective lenses and perspectives. And as you said before, with your extensive background, as long as I've known you in radio, television, print, online, you're looking at it through a totally different lens. You're looking at the same lens as your castmates, but you're also looking at it through, for lack of a term, an elevated lens, because you kind of know how things work. And
100%.
yeah. And that's so impressive that, again, you're able to walk, next time I chew some gum, I'm thinking you walk and chew gum at the same time. So here we are. The show is going on right now. You've already had successful watch events, correct me if I'm wrong, in Miami and Orlando. Let us know upcoming watch events that you've already got planned and how people can plug in and enjoy the experience with you.
Yes, next up is Atlanta. I look forward to bringing my energy, my team to Atlanta to put on a beautiful event for people, single men and women, and married couples as well, because I realize that a lot of married couples watch this show. I look forward to bringing just Black and brown men and women together to not only enjoy maybe an episode of the season, but to network with each other, to be in good energy. There's going to be amazing music, and in the Orlando watch party and the Miami networking soiree that I executed, a lot of people were able to network. People were able to meet others for the very first time, people that are in my network. So I love that. People were able to tap into me. I have not been so accessible as I've been in the past because of how busy I've been. So people have been able to finally catch up with me and ask me questions and ask about the journey. They're eating good. They're listening to good music. It's just good energy. And it makes me happy to see others experiencing just joy. And regardless of what happens throughout the season, there is a little bit of drama. Regardless of what happens throughout the season, I think one of the nuggets that I'm holding on to is being able to put on these experiences for others so that they can enjoy this. And it's going to be a part of my experience that I remember forever. I mean, Orlando was amazing. It was fantastic. Miami was incredible. So I look forward to doing the same thing in Atlanta. We are looking at a late February date. So I'll definitely keep you posted, but people can always follow me on Instagram for updates, go to my website for updates. There's a link in my bio on Instagram where you can text me, email me, reach out to me, and stay tuned with everything that I have going on.
That sounds amazing. So remind people again, the best ways for people to stay connected. And then after that, if there's anything else you want to throw out, I know I'm setting myself up, but if there's anything else that you want to throw out there, please feel free to do so.
Yes, so Instagram by far is the best way to connect with me, because on Instagram, the link in my bio will direct you to how you can text me, how you can email me, how you can grab time on my calendar, how you can buy my digital products, how you can buy my tangible products, where my events will be, all of the above. So I'm at Corvaya on Instagram. It's just my first name, so I'm easy to find there. And if you just tap the link in my bio, everything you need is right there.
Sounds amazing. Well, I tell you what, as always, you know how we get, but it's good and it's enriching, engrossing, engaging, uplifting. As we get ready to close out, any, I'll say, closing remarks, words of motivation that you.
Yes. Well, I want to end with a question, and hopefully the answer that you provide will motivate other people. I know this is something I've been wanting to ask you. You've always been supportive of me, always giving me advice when I need it, always a great leader by example, and all of the above. So my question to you is, Andrew, what do I do next? What do I do next? I mean, I have this media background. I'm still very involved in my media career and I love it. And now I am putting myself out there to the world, right? And I open the door for people to love me, hate me, not like me. What do I do next? Like, what's next? I don't know where to go from here.
I knew I was setting myself up. What do you do next? Here's what I think you do next. You look at what has allowed you to get to where you are, and everybody, quote, hasn't fulfilled part of their dream, part of their goal, part of their motivation. And you've been able to do that at each step of the way. I would say what's going to help you figure out what's next is taking the best of what you've been able to do so far and ask yourself, where do I need to be challenged? And I'll say that because if we don't experience a challenge, we don't experience growth. And if we don't experience growth, even like I said in my current book, there's somebody that's out there waiting on you. Now, think about that for a minute. Someone's out there waiting on you. So the next professional step, there's someone out there waiting on you to do these great creative things. But not only that, for the younger versions of us, you can to make those creative steps, lets others know that, yes, it's possible.
Right.
It's those types of things. That next challenge to tap into more of who you are and whose you are. Now, what is that going to look like? I can't tell you, but it's going to happen because you think about everything you've been able to do so far. You've gotten that nudge, you've gotten that push, you've gotten that bump. Every once in a while, you've been hit upside the head. Lord knows I can tell you about that. But you're still here and you're still building off of the positives. The negatives allow you to keep perspective, but the positives keep pushing you to go forward. So what is it going to look like? I don't know. But there's going to be something that pops up that's going to challenge you and reveal more of your skill sets, more of your gifts, more of your talents. And it's so timely with the advice with the grandfather clock going. I mean, it's like perfect time.
It's cute.
Look, the gray hair and the grandfather clock is like perfect.
Very telling. I love it. And the advice, yes, I love it.
All I need now is like one of those older jackets and a rocking chair, and I'm good to go. But real talk, I honestly feel like that's what's next. It's going to be that next professional level that, quote, you didn't see coming, that next personal growth that you didn't see coming, that next community piece that you didn't see coming. And not only is it going to allow you to continue to expand your reach, but even bigger than that, you're leaving a footprint for the younger version of you to be like, you know what, because she's doing it, I know I have the capacity to do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Almost made me shed a tear.
Oh,
but thank you so much for that, because, you know, it's easy for people to get lost in. There's a fine line between being present in a moment and getting lost in a moment, right? I think we have to always consider what's next with the balance of being able to enjoy what's currently happening. When I think about what's currently happening, I'm proud of everything that I've achieved so far. And I never thought that I would step into something like reality TV or dating on camera, to really just strip all the words away and just say what it is, dating on camera, right? But even in this arena, when I put myself in that younger version of me's shoes, I'm really admiring how it's all playing out. I'm super proud. And I'm just like patting myself on the back, you know, little Corvaya is just like, girl, you're doing it. And while I'm content and I'm happy and I'm satisfied with how far I've come, there's always that piece, like you said, about where can I be challenged for growth? What's next for me? And is that next level challenging me enough to grow and continue to strive for greatness?
Well, all I'm going to say is this: keep walking in your greatness. And you know, we're excited for what's coming next. And on that note, we want to thank you, Corvaya, for taking time out to join us. We thank you for taking time along all your moving parts to sit down with us. Again, make sure to stay connected with Corvaya. Simply see her on Instagram. Stay connected with us at acenortonccs.com, Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube, Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, all of you take good care, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.
Bye.